Luca Cacioli from CEIA USA. So happy to have you here on our Easy Day series. It's an honor. I appreciate you traveling down. Did you come straight from Italy, or have you been home for a while?
From Ohio.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good.
Sunny Ohio. It's sunny.
It's sunny. It's beautiful there. There's a couple of months.
Summer it is.
Yeah, exactly. Look, Luca, you hold the title of CEO of CEIA North America. How long have you been in this role? And tell me how you got to getting into the business of screening people for just about every industry in the U.S.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been with CEIA for 13 years, 5 of which in this role, actually almost 6. I used to be in the semiconductor industry, which is very different. So we worked with consumer electronics products. When I got the chance and opportunity to move into the security industry, I took it very quickly because I thought, and likely it happened, I was, or I could be able to make a real difference in people's lives. As you well know, better than me, since you've been in this industry longer than me, you know that we actually make a difference in people's actual lives.
Yep, absolutely.
It's not a joke that there are situations in which it's a matter of life and death.
No, for sure, for sure.
So that's what attracted me to it, and CEIA has given me the opportunity to make a real difference.
Talk a little bit about CEIA because most of, at least the event industry, knows CEIA for a PMD2 walk-through metal detector or now the OPENGATE product.
Yeah.
But CEIA is much more than that. And you last time we were together, you told me more about what CEIA really does outside of events. What's the core business?
For sure. So CEIA has been in business for 60 years and in North America for almost 30, always in Ohio. Security is a big part of what we do. An event for us is part of security, but we have other business units. One of them, which actually is fairly large for us, is the work that we do with Department of Defense.
Right.
So the ground search metal detectors, so-called mine detectors. These days, they're not really mines, they're IEDs.
Right.
But those are a big business for us, for sure. But also, they make us feel really good when we get good feedback from Marines, for instance, from our soldiers about what our detectors can do for them.
Because you're literally looking for a wire in the ground.
Yeah, literally a wire, or plastic mines. We have detectors which are specifically for metals, detectors which actually look for something different. So we have a big variety of detection technologies. So you're right, we are mostly known in the event space, definitely for the PMD2 and now for the OPENGATE, which is a revolutionary weapon detector, but we do more than that for sure.
I mean, that's what you talked about. You're literally saving lives. I mean, when we're talking about looking for a wire in the ground or plastic, saving soldiers. Yeah,
for real. We actually, it may be a little, I don't know if it's out of the scope, but we have had soldiers, Marines, who have actually tattooed our logo on themselves. We have pictures of a Marine Corps person with our logo on his calf. And our trainer asked him, why? Well, because this leg belongs to CEIA. I'm like, what do you mean? I was in Afghanistan. I was sweeping with your detector, and your detector correctly identified an IED right before I was about to step on it. So you saved my limbs or my life. And those are actually stories that resonate for sure with me. And even to this day, and this is from probably 5 years ago, even to this day, I get the chills.
Yeah.
So that's, to go back to your question, why? Because we really make a difference.
Right.
So, and we really believe in what we do. And it's not, management speak. I think everybody in the company really knows that we can make a difference.
I mean, it gives me chills.
Yeah.
To hear that story.
Good stories.
And it must, your whole company, down to the engineer, right? I mean, and I would say down to, because engineers in your business are very important people.
For sure.
But what a story for your company, for everybody that's involved in each product line. what makes CEIA different? I mean, you have competitors, and my Ingresso Tech company uses one of the competitors, but what separates CEIA?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what I think we do, specifically in the security space, we have to thank the federal world, because as a company, we were born and grew to serve the federal world. The federal world keeps you, quote unquote, honest.
Yeah.
We have made the conscious decision to invest in R&D heavily.
Right.
We are very, very focused on R&D. We are I think, extremely good engineering company, maybe a little less marketing and sales.
Than your competitors.
But from an engineering point of view, definitely second to none.
And I've always known you to be that way. And before weapons detection became a thing, you were the highest priced product on the market for a stadium or the event industry because of that R&D and because of that engineering.
Correct.
And, I became a believer back then when we were, doing design work for different stadiums and saying, look, you can go with this product or you can go with the Cadillac. And there was an argument back then that why put the Cadillac in a security guard's hands, right? Yeah. You remember those conversations, right?
I do.
But your team is so focused on doing it exactly right. And it's caused some arguments at times because I've said, well, I like that, but please also make it so that, we don't have to find everything. We don't need the smallest knife. We don't need the smallest weapon because I got to get a laptop through. Right. So talk about that a little bit and how you balance that, meeting those standards and meeting those regulations versus, what sometimes the industry wants something a little different.
Yeah. So I think it all starts with talking with the end user.
Yep.
And understanding what it is that they really want. Different applications, we talked about the events, but also other things that we do. Different applications have different needs.
Yeah.
And even inside an application, an NFL stadium may be different from an NBA arena and what they need, right? Again, you know better than me, right?
For sure.
And we focus on what the need is, and we start with detection. And we, I would say, consult with the end user, but we consult not on the complete security envelope because someone like your company actually can do that better than what we can. But we do consult very specifically on what the weapon detection needs are and how the checkpoint should work.
Yeah.
And so we determine a solution. Then when we have the solution, we determine what that solution needs to detect. And then we go into, let's say, the throughput, because as you alluded to, what everybody wants these days wants to get people in as quickly as possible, which is completely understood because security doesn't want to overshadow the event.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
So the way I think we achieve what we achieve is, again, by understanding what the real needs are, because sometimes what the needs that are expressed are not maybe the real needs. So you need to go a little bit deep.
Yep.
And then we give them what we have available, which in my opinion, I may be biased, but we have the best solution given a certain need.
Yeah.
So that's how I think we achieve a certain goal.
Yeah, and your team has always been really good at working with the end user, whether it's my team or another, to try and figure out that solution because, even I remember when we did University of Alabama.
Yeah.
And we convinced them that they needed 160 some PMD2s to screen a 100-year-old stadium. And your team came out and we had a con-op that we believed was best, and your guys were like, you're doing it wrong. Right? and they're smart guys. I mean, listen, I understood their viewpoint, but I'm like, just hold on, watch this, right? And they've been very good about adapting to the user and their needs. Recently, we got into the rental business with Progresso Tech. Yep. And by the way, we might have Paul Matthews get a tattoo now that I've heard that CEIA story, that soldier story.
I think it should.
OPENGATE came to the market. How do you define the difference between metal detection, PMD2, and weapons detection, OPENGATE?
So I think with the OPENGATE, we designed from the ground up a device that was meant for a very specific application. This is actually has been a little bit our strength as well. Because we've been in business for 60 years, we've seen it all.
Right.
And throughout the years, we've been exposed to a lot of different applications. And we have dozens of patents, in detection. So we can apply what we need depending on the application. And the PMD2 is a great device, but the OPENGATE is a device that was thought specifically for that specific application.
Right.
And the OPENGATE is not good for everything. I mean, you wouldn't put the OPENGATE in a correctional facility at all.
Right.
The OPENGATE is designed to detect certain things and get people through really quickly. But it was designed from the ground up. So because of that, it allows to have the same detection capabilities of a PMD2 or similar detection capabilities of PMD2, but to reduce the nuisance alarms or false alarms, as we say in the industry, and so get people through as quickly as possible. Additionally, what we did, we had learned a lot from what customers were telling us.
Yep.
And as you and I actually talked about it before, remember, IEDs US some years ago, the ask was always, why can't you make a detector that does not look like a metal detector, right?
Right.
And we were working on it. We've been working on it for some years. So with the OPENGATE, it's 2 pillars, no crossbar, you set it up in a minute.
Yep.
And you can relocate it in no time, even if your security envelope and posture changes because of different threats, because now you want to do screening in the parking lot. Right. You do that in no time. And so we try to put in the OPENGATE all the lessons learned of this specific market, the event market, if you will. Yeah? The market in which you need to get people through really quickly.
Well, and it just came, brought a video to mind that my team sent from Cheyenne just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
We've always struggled with wind and elements. Yeah. It doesn't matter whose detection device we have, and you've adopted with base plates and now support structures. If you haven't seen the video, I've sent it to you.
I've actually seen it.
Wind. Tense rattling.
It's on LinkedIn, I believe.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
I think Rachel's team put it up.
Yeah. I'm sure I've seen it.
And Paul sends this video, and he's like, we've never been able to do this before. Yeah. Right. With wind like that, and to be able to have a device that can operate in that environment. Yeah. Is great. And your team keeps listening as we keep bringing more problems, right?
I think, you said a little bit about CEIA. I think what we try to do, we do try to listen, like what you said earlier about University of Alabama, right? So we know some things, but of course, when there are experts out there or customers or people with a problem and an issue, if you don't have a solution, we try to figure it out. Of course, we go back to the lab where those engineers are and try to figure it out.
Well, we got to convince some of those engineers that we know what we're talking about.
They actually the head of the lab actually goes to the field.
Yeah.
Because you can't just design. In a vacuum. No. You need to see.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, we get a new curveball every day.
Yes.
That we didn't, I didn't see that one coming. Talk about the AI. Like there's all this conversation, weapons detection, AI, advanced screening.
Yeah.
Where is OPENGATE in the AI conversation? Are you using AI with OPENGATE? And is it changing, or is there something coming?
Okay. So AI is a tool, and if used properly, it's a valid tool, for sure. It's developing very quickly,
Right.
very quickly. I see it even in software development. What you can do these days,
It's amazing.
absolutely you couldn't do just 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. It's absolutely mind-boggling how quickly it's changing. So we do use whatever tool we have at our disposal
Right.
to make the OpenGate specifically better.
Right.
So without saying too much.
Right. Right. Understood.
We do have, so what I can tell you that we do not advertise, oh, there's an AI engine behind it. It's not like that. But in the design process,
Right.
you use ORCAD to do the PCB. I don't know. You use, you design with a specific design language.
Yep.
I mean, there are ways to enhance what you do with certain AI help and techniques.
Right.
Let's leave it to that, if that's okay.
But you've also got the dashboards and everything, so I assume we're using some advanced technologies for getting the right data to the user. I'm not sure that we have a lot of operators out there that are looking at the data the way they should. I think data is a big opportunity in this business that we're trying to focus more on. But even my tech clients, I don't think we're using the data that we have at our fingertips very well.
Yeah, so we do collect a lot of data, and we can, with the dashboard that we have available, we can send all this data to a responsible party, someone who can then do something with it.
Right.
Data just for the heck of collecting data doesn't do anything,
For
right?
sure.
So you need to then optimize what you do. Our data allows a security director to make decisions on deployment, make decisions on security levels, make decisions on who needs access to what, and how to change. Well, I mean, it allows to do everything. Monitor, control, set parameters. There are some of our customers who use data very well.
Right.
Some don't.
Yeah.
Some don't. I think because in our industry, it's a little bit of a newer concept to do that. It's something that's probably something in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
We specifically have supported networked airports for the last 20 plus years.
Wow.
But like in Europe, North America.
But is Europe more advanced?
I say from a data analysis point of view, generally speaking, I hope nobody gets upset here.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. I would assume so. They were ahead of everybody on electronic ticketing and resorts and stuff. It seems like Europe kind of.
When it comes to analyzing the data coming from detectors, yes. I mean, they've had airports networked in Europe literally for over 20 years. Right. So we have had a solution called NetID Classic. I know your team knows NetID anywhere, but the NetID Classic, which is one that resides on premise because of cybersecurity, we've had airports networked for literally over 20 years.
Wow. For us, the data, it's great intel to look at understanding what's my alert rate. Is it different at different entries because I got different types of people coming through different entries?
Good point.
But for the most part, it's really allowed us to design to a level of accuracy because I can say I'm expecting 10,000 people in an hour. Only X% are going to alert with this profile, bag, no bag, whatever. And now I can really get the design right. I can say I only need 8 lanes. I need 10 lanes. And I can be confident deploying that, and then I got to staff it. Because in that design process, there's so much more than I got to buy some equipment and have space.
And that's exactly the point.
I got to have staffing. I got to have.
That's exactly the point. And if I may, shamelessly plug in the OpenGate again in this conversation. With the OpenGate, if your expectations are different from reality, because maybe you don't get dollars people through the gate, but maybe you get 8,000 and the additional 2 for whatever reason that day are somewhere else, you can redeploy it very quickly. Move it very quickly in a minute and it's set up. And because of that, you have optimally utilize the checkpoint.
For sure. You know, I think one of the challenges, you know, in this industry, in the events industry, stadium industry, is we have been maybe reluctant, maybe not smart enough. You know, most of the clients, the directors of security, they don't their background isn't a business background, a technology background, right? So whether it's video surveillance or weapons detection or whatever, I don't think we're doing a good enough job getting the right people on their team. You need that experience of that person that came up through the industry. But I think we have to do a better job of getting the business engineer, the business manager in the process to go look at that data and say, hey, Dan, we're overstaffed here. We've got too much equipment there. We're not flexible enough to do this. We're not looking at screening versus ticket scan versus concessions. You know, like there's so much data out there that we could be utilizing.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a function maybe of sometimes of the size of the teams that we work with, because clearly a small arena doesn't have the same resources that a big corporation may have, you know, like a Fortune 500 corporation may have. But you're right. I think that's one of the issues that there is probably not the knowledge even to utilize that data.
Right.
Of course, not everybody knows everything. That's why we have teams of people working in our corporations.
What's the biggest misunderstanding when it comes to weapons detection? When you talk to clients or you talk to end users, what do you run into the most as they just don't understand something?
Yes. I think that if we, as CEIA, are able to talk with someone before they have already made up their mind, we are able to prevent misunderstandings. Because I honestly think that our team does a good job about expressing what is good, what is not good, and what a detector can and cannot do, because it cannot do everything. A detector is only one layer of a certain security approach.
Right.
You know, you need everything. So I think if we do that, there are no misunderstandings. However, if we are late in the game, and I'm talking about our field applications engineers, our technicians, even our salespeople, if they are late in the game and they talk with someone who maybe has a certain idea of what a detector can or cannot do, then indeed, you can have some misunderstanding.
For sure.
Because the expectation is that the detector is a magic wand, and it's not a magic wand.
Right.
Nothing is perfect. Right. Not even our detectors are perfect. So they cannot do everything.
But you mentioned layers, and you know we have a canine company now, so Stratos Canine. Is canine bomb detection canine, gun detection canine, and weapons detection systems complementary? Is it one or the other? Do you need both? From you as the manufacturer of a great product, what do you advise your clients as it relates to how you layer canine into your?
Okay, for sure. Complementary, for sure.
Yep.
Because there is not a single technology that can do everything.
Right.
Absolutely. And I strongly believe in a layered approach to security.
Great.
From crowd control, parking lots, through when they come through a checkpoint, which is what we know the best, but also inside a facility, right?
Right.
And you need to make sure that everything works cohesively together, a little bit of a holistic approach.
Yep.
And this is something that we really, that's something that you do.
Right.
We don't, We're not experts. We don't do, right? Whether you need canine in every situation, that is not up to me to say, honestly. But the technology is definitely complementary. It's not one or the other.
Right. Do we need gun detection canine and explosive detection canine and OPENGATE?
Probably so. So if you want to have, if you can do it as an organization, probably so.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking because, correct me if I'm wrong here, maybe it's my lack of knowledge here, but I'm thinking a weapons detector can work 24 hours.
Right.
And it's always the same, 24 hours.
Right.
It has its pros and cons.
For sure.
It's flaws for sure, but works 24 hours.
Right.
You don't need a handler. You don't need. So because of that, I think depending on your need as a security professional, I think that's why I say they do not exclude each other.
Yeah.
I think they can go hand in hand.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I see it as the OPENGATE technology is for the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Bag check, X-ray, gun detection dog, explosive detection dog is really focused on the bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I guess there's some exceptions, right? I guess I could bring a plastic explosive on my body. I don't want to share too much with the bad thinkers out there.
I understand.
But I could do that through the OPENGATE product. I'm not going to detect that plastic.
So I think you're absolutely correct. There is the OPENGATE is for people.
Yeah.
And people
and it's for weapons.
Whatever they want for weapons. Correct. As a matter of fact, this reminds me of what some federal agencies do, right? I mean, we see it every day. There are devices for people and devices for objects.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever the objects may be. Can be, a cargo.
Right.
Or it can be different things. But you're right. I think it's a good characterization.
Is CEIA going to get in the cargo business, or are you in the cargo business?
We do have large bore metal detectors. They're big tunnel-like metal detectors, which are actually used in North America as well to screen non-metallic cargos, loads of, because, for instance, I'll give you an example. If you have a load of 2 tons of fish, literally fish, if you hide something in the middle of this big thing of fish, it's really hard for something that is not a metal detector to actually see it or detect it. So when it comes to organic matter and you hide something in it, a metal detector can detect it reliably in half a second.
Wow.
Even a 1.3 meter by 2 meter pallet. I mean, I'm talking about one that fills an airplane.
Right.
And we do have those deployed. They are tested and approved by TSA. Everything we do, as I said, it's all tested.
Of course.
So, yeah.
Speaking of TSA, I got to ask, as an expert in the detection space, and like listen, we all have our complaints, whether it's security at a stadium or, but TSA, I go through a TSA checkpoint, and look, we can deploy all the best technology in the world.
Yes.
We're still down to the human being that's operating and managing. I mean, you must just shake your head at what you see.
I gotta say that when it comes to, I have a little bit of a different take, honestly, on it. I have to say that when it comes to TSA specifically, I know this is maybe an unpopular view, but I think actually they do a good job.
Really?
Screening people. I'm not trying to be politically correct here at all. I really think that, they do a decent job. Now, if you ask me, could they improve if they had some other technologies, which I know we do have?
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
I mean, maybe very self-serving, but I would.
But CEIA is in most North American airports.
100%.
Yeah.
But we have new devices, which actually we're discussing with some federal agencies, which are not really public yet. We do have more than metal detection. By the way, at TSA, we also have a bottle liquid scanner.
Oh, really?
So, to detect certain things inside bottles.
So my bag doesn't have to get pulled aside because I forgot the water bottle?
Well, in that case, they should use our device to test the water bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you something else about TSA. I shouldn't be so hard on TSA. I think my issue is more the consistency of what they ask us to do. And I get that. That's the human part, right?
I actually think that's on purpose.
Yeah. Oh, really? They want to mix me up?
Yeah.
They want to throw me off?
Yeah. I kid you, I don't.
Yeah. I didn't think of that. That's a fair point.
They actually change how they do things on purpose.
Right. Yeah. Frustrates me because I have a routine.
I get it.
But I'm a good guy with a routine.
But, you know, it's like a little bit of a random alarm on a detector, right?
It's amazing how often I get the random alarm. It's amazing.
The quote?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm vaguely familiar with that. But, you know, it's, I think, like a random alarm at a detector. So you do a random alarm to keep people guess a little bit, right? You want them to guess.
Right.
And I'm not privy to what TSA's internal discussions are.
Sure.
But from my understanding, it's done on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. My fiance, Rachel, and I, between the two of us, I don't know, 80% of the time, one of us gets the random. It's
maybe it's not that random.
We have a profile. Listen, we talk all the time about the hardware only being as good as the engineer can make it or the standard. Talk about what is CEIA doing to improve the process with their clients with the human aspect? Because that's where, listen, go back to before metal detectors were deployed and it was wands and the human law, you know, how does CEIA view it? How do you deal with the human factor with your clients?
Yeah. So with the OPENGATE specifically, we designed it in a way that it would be as simple as possible to be used.
You did.
As simple as
red light, green light. We say it all the time.
That is exactly it. Red light, green light. Too much information confuses screeners.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right.
And also, you know, there is turnover in the industry. It's really difficult to keep training people. So we try to make it as simple as possible.
Right.
Okay? Having said that, as you said correctly before, there is a person operating something, right? And even if you have this pie-in-the-sky dream that the detector has everything on its own, and you know you don't have to do anything, you still need to adjudicate an alarm, right? You need to somehow, if there is an alarm, determine what to do. So there is still very important human element because everything we do, we talk with human, and we are humans.
Yeah.
As humans, we go through something. So there is no the so-called checkpoint of the future in which you get screened all by machines. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it going to happen?
Man. I mean, I guess I could say yes or no because
we're going to have a robot that's going to go through it.
We'll find out in 20 years.
Might be 5. The way the industry's going.
Yeah, given the speed.
Elon's going to have us there in 5.
That's probably true. But yeah, so I wanted to say that indeed, I think the human element is very important. But before we get to that point, I think very important is the interaction that you have as a person who deploys a certain technology with the users, with the directors, with the people who are going to supervise a certain checkpoint. So I think training is very important. Like, for instance, when we deploy an OPENGATE, we do training, but also we assist with deployments, first deployments, right? And I think your team does it as well, right?
All the time.
That's correct.
All the time.
Because if you don't do it, anything is going to look bad. Well, right? So anything is going to fail.
I mean, look, the team was our Ingresso Tech team was just in University of Georgia.
Yes.
And the ultimate client, Matt Burkowski, who I've known for years, I see him on this video. He's had a hip replacement, and the proof of the pudding was Matt could walk through and not alert, right?
Correct.
But, we've been committed, the Ingresso Tech team has been committed that we will not deploy your technology without our people there.
Absolutely.
Because
makes sense.
I don't want your brand or my brand. Someone saying, oh, the technology didn't work. The technology works.
And I gotta say, this is, if I may interrupt you, this is actually why, as I know, our team likes to work with your team, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't, you care. You want to make sure that something is deployed correctly and works.
Yep.
Why? Because of, it's not only ethical, but it's good business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's good business because then a customer is happy, word of mouth. So it does, I know that our team is very happy to be working with your team because of that approach. Yeah, for sure. It matches our approach.
And, it comes from years of watching it done wrong.
Yeah.
And
frustrating.
Frustrated, right? Yeah. But anyways, I could go on forever on that. What excites you most in the next 3 to 5 years as it relates to this industry? What's coming? Without sharing trade secrets.
So I think our R&D projects excite me the most, maybe because I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
Or I was. I haven't been an engineer in a while.
You haven't engineered.
I have a piece of paper that says I'm an engineer. But I think what excites me the most is what we have coming out. Earlier, I said that CEIA lets me make a difference. The way we do that is by investing a lot of money and time and tears and blood on new projects.
Right.
But new projects that are coming out maybe in the next 5 years. Things that, and I gotta say, because we're a private company.
Yep.
So I don't have to justify to anybody why I'm spending X amount of money on something that, you don't even know, you don't even have a code name for the project yet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Something that's gonna come out literally in 5 years. So we have things in the pipeline that hopefully, you always want them to be successful.
Right.
Hopefully will come to fruition. And I think will make a difference.
Anything for our industry?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
Good.
Having said that, how we do things, that relates a little bit to a previous question you had. We try to improve, but also we improve on a daily basis. Like even the OPENGATE that we deployed 4 years ago now, 3 years ago, is very different from an OPENGATE these days.
For sure.
What we can do, what it can do. There is a continuous improvement, for sure.
Right. So this series is our, we call it our Easy Day series, and Easy Day is that SEAL term for, it doesn't matter what happened, it was an easy day. That's a mindset, right?
Yeah.
What was your easy day moment? Like, talk us through kind of your toughest day in the business, whether it was with a client, with, the manufacturing, the deployment, or something that, you experienced when you're out in the field.
Yeah, what I'm gonna share a little bit of a personal story, which is, however, related to my career. So I don't know if you know, but I moved to the US over 20 years ago. I moved a couple of times, different companies, and I moved city with my wife to be. We moved to work for this company. 1,000 people were hired after a few months, and 100 people were let go because of booms and busts in the industry.
Yep.
And I think I was lucky, because sometimes you gotta get lucky, right?
For sure.
I wasn't the best one. I was one of the lucky ones, right? So I kept my job, but I saw a lot of people with whom I had become close, who had moved across the country, even from different continents, losing their jobs. Maybe they just bought a house a month before.
Right.
And I think that scarred me a little bit, if you will, with my management style. So now that I actually run a company in CEIA, I am a little risk averse when it comes to hiring people. Maybe our employees will say, let's hire more people, we're working too much. I don't know, but I'm a little risk averse, because I don't want to go on a crazy hiring spree and then for whatever reason we don't sell as much, and then what do I do?
Right.
We never had a layoff in CEIA. Not only because of me, but also before me, never.
Wow.
And I don't want to be the first one to have to do that. So I think that, not a day, but that event has definitely, again, I use the word scarred, because it really has signed me. It has made me feel something that I'm very conscious about.
As CEO, you feel that responsibility to all those families.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To make that payroll, to ensure that, hopefully they have a growth in your company and they feel like there's a place for them to go and to make more money. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But you feel that, don't you? I mean, look, you've got North America, I'm sure Italy, if you got into hard times in North America, it would help bail you out a little bit for a short time. But it is a real burden that you wear every day.
Yeah. So actually, I gotta say the company in Italy and the company in the US are completely separate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely. So they wouldn't bail us out.
No. So you have all the burden.
Yes, correct. I don't have a war chest to say, yeah, I can ask someone else. And I have to say, I'll share this, that the CFO and I, we're close. We have lunch every day together.
Right.
I kid you not. At our lunches, we talk 90% of the time about employees.
Yeah.
About how to make them happier, how to reward everybody who wants to have a better career, who wants to better themselves.
Yep.
How as you said, payroll, right?
Yep.
I mean, we don't have payroll issues in the company, but you always, in my mind, it's always in the back of my mind,
100%.
of course, right? So I don't know if the CEO, when he's going to see this, Bruno,
right.
we'll say, yeah, we do that every day.
Right. But it is real. I guess here's a question, because as a founder and we're, I don't know, maybe 30 full-time employees now, but I have like 200 contractors. I feel that burden all the time.
Yeah.
What have you found employees want the most? You could put hot tubs in your headquarters. I've seen your headquarters. It's very nice. You could put lavish cafeterias.
Yes.
The tech industry went way off the cliff with all this stuff on the West Coast. But from your experience and what's working at CEIA, what do the employees want most?
I think employees want to be treated well and fairly.
Yep.
And when I say fairly, I mean, of course, financially.
Yeah.
But also on a personal interaction point of view. Look, they all know that they may have a possibility of maybe expanding their career, maybe a promotion. Of course, they need to deserve it,
sure.
Right? So, and I think I think our employees understand that we, as management, as executive team, we try to do our best to treat them fairly.
Yep.
Now, a sense of purpose clearly is not a bad thing to have. And as we discussed, how I think in CEIA we do have a purpose. We actually make a real difference. So that comes with the business. Right. And it's easy. It's easy for me to tell, because it's true. It's not something I make up in the morning. I don't have to take many management classes to tell them what we do. But I think employees want to be treated fairly and have a sense of purpose. And again, fairly includes everything.
Yep.
When you talk with them, when you compensate them, what they have to do, what their job is about. And everybody wants to have a little bit of life-work balance, right? We're not stickler when it comes to, you worked from 8 or 1 a.m.
Right. And that's an area I want to touch on, because we talk about work-life balance. We're in the event industry.
Yes.
Right. Our teams go out, they travel more than I would love for them to all travel, but they do. I came up doing that. I expect them to do that. So they're doing some nights, they're doing some weekends, but even at home in their planning time, sometimes it's long hours. I talked to our team, and I'm interested in your opinion here. There is a work-life balance, and I expect them to be happy in their personal lives. But there's also, I can bring more employees on and pay everybody less. Mm-hmm. I believe that our workforce, our employees, would rather be lean and have the opportunity to make more and maybe sacrifice a little of that balance. And I talk to them regularly about that, and they all nod their heads yes.
Well, then you got your answer.
Right?
That's what they want.
But sometimes they don't tell you the truth. So how do you handle that work-life balance versus staying lean and being able to pay more?
Yeah. Great questions, and it's probably secret to management, which I don't have. But I try to talk with employees, not only my direct reports, but a little bit, as much as I can, of course, given my limited time.
How many employees do you have?
100-ish.
Okay. And so how often do you get to those? How often do you think, and you're in a headquarters, you have a building, I'm all remote.
Yeah.
How often do you think you touch the 100th of the 100?
I walk a lot.
Yeah?
So I stop by offices quite a bit. I don't know, I should keep track.
Yeah. No, it's
I should keep
curious
track because in my mind, I do it a lot.
Yeah.
But then I should ask employees actually if I do it as much as I think I do. What I like to do, I like to delegate and empower my direct reports to make decisions, and to make decisions not only from a very pure business point of view, but also for what is needed right there and then.
Right.
And, speaking of an easy day, when something happens, I don't want to be the one that everybody's waiting for. What if I'm not available, right?
100%.
So I need to have people who can make decisions.
Right.
And these are people at all levels, right? It doesn't, just because you have a title doesn't mean that you know what to do at that point, right? But if you have a title and you don't know what to do, you have someone you can ask.
Right.
Right? So you don't have to be the big manager who thinks he knows everything. Nobody knows everything. No. I sure don't. No. I have a title, but I sure don't. I rely on people who are much smarter than I am. And so I ask if I don't know something.
Right.
So I think that my team asks if they don't know something. But if they do, or even if information is imperfect, sometimes you got to make a decision.
Yeah.
Right? And so as far as I know, as far as I can tell, they make decisions.
Yeah.
Depending on their knowledge, depending on the information that they have at that time.
Yep.
And they're all smart folks. So this goes along the lines of employees.
Yeah.
So I know that they talk with their direct reports, right? And their direct reports.
Right.
So I hope, therefore, that there is a conversation about, are you happy? Do you like what you're doing, right?
Right.
Or do you want to make more money? Maybe you want to travel more.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be home for the next 3 weekends, right?
Right.
So there are some considerations there that I think different people, different employees value different things.
100%.
Right? So because of that, we cannot, of course, assume that everybody wants the same thing, right?
Right.
So I think that in our company, if I'm not the one talking with everybody, someone else is.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think we're getting there. We're 4.5 years old.
Yeah.
And that growth process, it took us some time to get that delegated decision making.
Of course.
And empower people their own confidence.
Of course.
To make that decision instead of calling, their direct, whoever they reported to, or ultimately me.
Correct. Of course.
And it's really rewarding to watch that process happen.
Yeah,
because
it is.
Less and less decisions are on me, because my VPs and their direct reports are really doing a great job. But it's not an easy point to get to. And we're all remote. I got to tell you, that monthly all hands call that I have, and as big a screen as I can make, to see those faces come up on the cameras, because there's some faces I haven't seen in person. In months.
Yeah.
I
understand.
And by the way, my son being one of them, who lives 20 minutes away, but he's on the road so often.
I understand.
I don't see him till I get to a job that he's at, a project. So listen, this has been a great conversation. I appreciate the business side of the conversation, because that's a key component of what you're developing at CEIA. And what we're putting out on the field is your employees that are making it happen for us. So I really appreciate it.
We try.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Luca. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right.